All right, Miles, we've just seen one of probably the biggest matchups and best matchups of the weekend. The Ravens fell, but the crowd still seems to be getting behind the Huntsmen, behind you. Give me your thoughts on that matchup and kind of some of the highlights of the weekend for you.
I think the highlight, the crowd are always great. London did not disappoint. We knew full well that it was going to be brilliant. The hype coming into the event was very, very high, and the expectations were even higher, but genuinely the crowd were fantastic. I think the highlight of my week for me so far, Paris are looking great. I can't tell you. Well, they're winning this! There you go. So I'm very excited to see how Paris do this weekend. Can they go all the way? Who knows? That's a real surprise for me, genuinely. But the matches have been really good. We've had some incredible upsets, and we're just looking to see, again, where all these teams actually sit. Who's actually the best? Who's really not doing as good as we expected? And those power rankings from the first, opening weeks of the events have gone out the window entirely.
Yeah, we had our own power rankings, and they're definitely out the window entirely. Paris, I think Paris, have come out swinging in this match, but in generally this weekend, the Ravens definitely cementing their place in the top. I think Gorilla's fallen a little bit. I don't know what's going on with the Subliners. They just can't seem to finish a game. What do you think's happening there?
Subliners, for me, is a squad. The skill on that team is incredible, and the potential is even higher. For me, I genuinely believe that by the time the end of the season rolls around, teams like Seattle and teams like the Subliners are going to be real contenders. And I just feel like that's because of the skill and the quality of player on that team. Am I seriously surprised and disappointed with how they look right now? Yeah, I can't believe it. But again, I just feel like the caliber of the people on that squad, they're going to come back time and time again. Each event, they'll get better and better and better. By the time we roll around mid-season, by the time we start looking forward to champs, I genuinely believe the Subliners will be a force to be reckoned with.
We head into Atlanta in a couple weeks. I spoke to Looney from Toronto. They also had a rough weekend. The opening matchup is against the Huntsmen. It sounds like they got a lot of work to do to kind of stay above float. Two mediocre weekends for that team. What have they got to do to kind of stay alive in the league, in your opinion?
I think, in my opinion, and it's difficult for a squad like Toronto because they've got so many members on that squad. Hang on. Vous allez. Toronto have got so many members on that roster, it's difficult for them not to keep making changes. They want to see what works. They want to find, that winning formula. The more and more changes they make, in theory, the further and further behind the rest of the league they put themselves. And I don't want to see Toronto in a situation where they're playing catch-up all year long. That's my biggest concern about that squad.
I think the opening weekend was an incredible weekend. I think this home series has kind of raised the bar even more. Are we seeing a new level of quality of event in the Call of Duty scene and in the Call of Duty league that we can expect going forward?
I think absolutely, and the coolest thing so far is it seems that every event keeps setting the bar higher. Minnesota was fantastic. We had no idea what to expect coming into it, the way we designed the stage, the way we're handling, everything from the content we're providing, the player interviews, the city-to-city based, content pieces. I can't wait to see what we do in Atlanta. I truly can't. And it is going to be very, very interesting to see, again, when we look back at Minnesota and we go, that was a great event, but what's it going to look like when we're in Dallas and when we're in London for the second time? That sort of thing is very exciting to me.
What do you think Atlanta FaZe are thinking right now, sitting at home, watching these teams kind of shake out? Like, they've got a little bit of an advantage with the VOD review, but, they're only getting their reps in at home. What do you think is going through their mind right now?
It's one of two things. It's, okay, we need to hit the scrims hard when everyone gets back to North America, or it's, we got this. I think it's definitely going to be an air of confidence for Atlanta. The only weakness they ever showed in Minnesota was one map against the Subliners, which I don't know how that happened. Frankly, no idea how that happened. So I think Atlanta can sit pretty for now, but the most dangerous thing for that squad is hubris. It's being arrogant. It's thinking that they're genuinely above everyone else. See how we go, though.
This morning, Infinity Ward announced that they didn't really have any thoughts on adding a ranked mode to the game anytime soon. Just been getting a lot of people's thoughts on that. Seems like the pros are a little upset, the fans are a little upset. Do you think it's a mode that we should be expecting in every Call of Duty?
That's more of a question for the players. I love playing ranked, but at the same time, I'm one of the guys that gets into custom games with other players, other commentators, pro players. I do my best. I'm not what I used to be on the sticks. These guys, they don't cut it anymore, but we'll see how we go.
And final question, if you came out with one word for this weekend, what would it be?
Royal. It was great, man. It was a good weekend.
Thanks a lot, Miles.